There was a time when trust flowed easily between people, like water from a clear spring. You smiled at a stranger, and they smiled back, simple and sincere. Lending a helping hand felt natural, and receiving help didn't make you feel wary or indebted. The world was not perfect then, but it felt softer somehow, more forgiving. I remember growing up in a small town where neighbors were practically family. When I wanted to play with friends, I simply grabbed my bike, rode down the familiar streets, and knocked on doors. More often, I would find friends already gathered, laughing and playing together. When dinner time came, the families would kindly invite whoever was around to stay and eat, treating us as one of their own. We rode our bikes everywhere, sometimes even far beyond the neighborhood. And when it got late or we ventured too far, strangers on the road we had never met before, who saw us wandering around, would often offer us a free ride home, with nothing but a smile and a kind word. There was a simple, unspoken trust that lived in everyone's heart. At that time, people believed in each other's goodness first, not their capacity for harm. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. Nowadays, when the phone rings, my first thought isn't, "Who could it be?" but rather, "Is this another scam call?" A simple hello could be the start of someone trying to manipulate you, exploit your kindness, or lure you into a trap. The sophistication of deception has reached terrifying heights: elaborate voices, fake identities, believable stories. It feels like the world has put on 1,000 different masks, and you can't tell which one, if any, is real. One of the most vivid examples happened not long ago, involving my own cousin. It started innocently enough. A beautiful woman approached him through a social media chat. She was striking. All her photos were glamorous and seductive, the kind you might see in magazines. Her posts painted a picture of someone vibrant, confident, and seemingly open-hearted. She chatted with him like an old friend, laughing at his jokes, asking about his dreams, confiding in him about her own life. My cousin, who had always longed for someone who truly understood him, fell hard and fast. Before long, he was telling everyone he had a girlfriend, the one, he called her. "My soulmate," he said, glowing with happiness. They hadn't even met in person yet. Everything was through messages and chats. But in his heart, it felt real. So real. At first, I hesitated to rain on his parade. Love, even virtual love, is such a tender thing. But then, little signs started appearing. My cousin began borrowing money from me. When I asked why, he explained that she had started hinting at investment opportunities, how she had made a fortune with Bitcoin and wanted to help him do the same. The promise was golden: huge returns, quick rewards, a future together built on shared success. I gently warned him to be careful, sensing it was likely a scam. He reacted with hurt and defensiveness, convinced that she cared for him like no one else ever had and truly understood him. There was little more I could do. Sometimes, when someone is drowning in hope, no warning, no matter how urgent, can reach them. I quietly reminded him to guard his wallet, and he promised to be cautious. Yet love, or even just the illusion of it, remained a powerful, blinding force. He sent the money anyway, and once he did, the woman vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but silence. The woman wasn't real. The photos were fake. The conversations were scripted. The sweet concern, the laughter, the affection, all designed to reel him in and empty his pockets. The pain on his face when he realized it, I won't forget it. It wasn't just about the money. It was the betrayal of trust, the crushing humiliation of being played, the shattering of a beautiful dream. It could have happened to anyone. Even in face-to-face encounters, the doubt creeps in. A new acquaintance seems charming, generous, but then a strange request comes, or a small inconsistency reveals itself, and suddenly you're questioning everything. Was the warmth real, or just another carefully rehearsed performance? This realization broke my heart more than once. One summer during school break, I was helping at my uncle's machine shop. One afternoon, an elderly gentleman walked in with his 2 sons. They seemed polite, respectful, even friendly. He handed me a business card and told me he ran a recycling business, buying scrap metal for cash. He started talking to me like an old friend, showering me with kind words and a big smile. He said I was young yet independent, capable of running my own business. I was truly flattered. While he was walking around the shop, he noticed some wooden crates sitting in the corner and offered to buy those too, promising to pay $100 for each crate. Those crates had been taking up valuable space for months, so I was more than happy to finally get rid of them. We agreed that he would first load the scrap metal onto his trailer, since there wasn't enough space for the crates, and then he would return in an hour to pick up the crates and pay for everything at once. I even helped him load up the heavy scrap metal, feeling relieved we were finally clearing it out. I went back inside, carefully preparing an invoice while waiting for his return. 1 hour passed, then 2. I tried calling the number on the business card he had given me, but the number wasn't valid. It hit me like a punch in the gut. They were never coming back. Later, when my uncle returned to the shop and I explained what had happened, his face fell. He told me that the scrap metal they had taken was worth thousands of dollars. I realized then, with a sick, sinking feeling, that I had been tricked, not by a villain in a movie, but by someone who had smiled at me, looked me in the eye, and shook my hand. The world feels different now, so much colder, so much sharper. It's no longer enough to be cautious with strangers. Even kindness must be examined under the hardest light. Not just because of the loss of money or resources, though those losses sting, no doubt, but because of the betrayal of something deeper. The basic human belief that others mean well. Every deception, big or small, seems to corrode that belief a little further, leaving behind a scar of caution. There are days when I wonder, is it better to close myself off entirely, to lock every door, build every wall, trust no one unless they pass 100 impossible tests? Wouldn't that be safer? And yet, living like that would make the world an even colder place than it already feels. I would be safer, yes, but at the cost of a part of myself I'm not willing to sacrifice. The part that wants to believe in people, that finds joy in unexpected kindness, that still lights up when someone reaches out with an open heart. I realize now that the answer isn't to swing between total vulnerability and total cynicism. It's to find a way to live with open eyes and a guarded heart, not closed, but discerning. We can't pretend the world hasn't changed. It has. Scams, betrayals, manipulation, these are real threats, and it would be foolish to ignore them. But it would be just as tragic to let those threats destroy our ability to trust altogether. There has to be a middle path. Through painful trial and error, I've learned a few things about how to protect myself without freezing my heart. 1. Trust actions more than words. People can say anything. Words are cheap. What matters is what they do over time. Not once, not twice, but consistently. It's okay to enjoy someone's company early on, but real trust should be earned slowly, like a tree growing roots. 2. Take your time. When someone pushes for quick decisions, quick intimacy, or quick trust, that's a red flag. Genuine connections unfold naturally. If someone pressures you to move faster than you're comfortable, pause. Respect your own pace. 3. Listen to your intuition and respect it. How many times have I ignored a tiny twinge of unease, only to regret it later? Intuition is often our heart picking up on something our conscious mind hasn't fully registered yet. When your gut feels off, give yourself permission to step back, even if you can't explain why. 4. Keep healthy boundaries and enforce them kindly but firmly. It's not unkind to say no. It's not cruel to protect your space, your time, your heart. We can be compassionate without being naive. A healthy boundary is a gift to yourself and to that worthy of your trust. 5. Understand that betrayal says more about them than about you. When someone deceives or harms you, it's easy to blame yourself for being too trusting, too kind. But the fault is never in kindness itself. The wrongdoing belongs to the deceiver. Kindness is still good. It's still worth fighting for. We just have to learn how to direct it wisely. Despite everything, despite the scars and disappointments, I refuse to believe that the world is completely lost. Yes, there are those who will exploit trust, but there are also countless others who still mean well, who act with integrity even when it's hard, who offer help with no strings attached. I've met them too, the stranger who helped me when my car broke down without asking for anything in return. The friend who stood by me through hard times, even when it was inconvenient. The neighbor who left a handmade gift on my doorstep during the lonely season. They exist. They are proof that goodness is still alive, quietly, stubbornly, beautifully. Learning to trust in today's world feels like learning to walk a tightrope. It takes practice, balance, and resilience. There will be falls, painful ones, but with each step we become stronger. We learn not to throw away our tenderness, but to anchor it in discernment. It's easy to become bitter. It's easy to believe that kindness is a weakness, but I believe it's the opposite. To keep being kind, to keep trusting with wisdom even when it's risky, that is one of the bravest things a person can do. So, I will keep smiling at strangers. I will keep offering help where I can. I will build bridges, but now I will also build guardrails. I will protect myself, not with walls of stone, but with wisdom, intuition, and patience. The world is no longer innocent, but maybe we can be, not in a naive way, but in a conscious, courageous way. Maybe we can choose to live with open hearts and watchful eyes, trusting not blindly, but wisely. And maybe, just maybe, by doing so, we can slowly help the world find its way back to something better, one act of true, wise kindness at a time. Thank you for watching. Take good care of yourself. See you next time.